Okay, hi there, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Tristan, and actually this is my first video, so everyone's new here. So hello everyone and welcome to my channel. What I'm going to be doing in this series is recording and documenting my journey to self-improvement in League of Legends. And what I hope to achieve with doing this is I hope this will be a great tool for me to help what it looks like to actually learn and improve at League of Legends, hopefully. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and call this Let's Learn League. A little bit about me first. I've been playing League of Legends since Season 2. I've always hovered around Gold, going from Gold 5 to Gold 1 to Gold 4 to back to Gold 1 again the whole time. That is until last season I actually hit Diamond, and I know it's just Diamond, but it gave me like the inspiration to actually put in some time and energy into learning and improving. You know, I really enjoy playing League, and it's pretty much all I do, so why not actually put all of my mental effort into doing that? That's enough about me though. Let's go ahead and get into what this is actually going to look like. So each Sunday, I will be sitting down and writing a list of learning objectives from the following week. It will go from Sunday to Saturday. I will be playing 3 ranked games each day and doing a VOD review after each of them, where then I will record the results down in this notepad here and analyze on how well I did at my learning objectives and things that I can improve on. And then come Saturday, I will go ahead and do like a big review on how much progress I actually made during that week. So let's just go ahead and get into what this week is. So here is what I'm going to be working on this week, and places where I feel like I am the weakest and I feel like they're a great place to start. So 1 is cutting down on unnecessary deaths. Plenty of times where I die, and there was so many other options, so many things I could do. A very simple example would be I have a wave shoving into me and I go up for a CS and I end up dying. So for that 20 gold, I end up losing 200 gold worth of XP and farm when I could have just waited fucking 5 seconds and it all would have crashed and I could have got all 200. Or helping a teammate with a play that I know is the wrong call, but I also feel like it's like my responsibility to help my teammate, but in reality it was better just to play selfishly and get farm, you know? Or just straight up tilting. Like, I know that happens to all of us. We just tilt. We're not thinking about what we're doing. We're taking trades we don't mean. We're committing to fights we don't mean. And I feel like that's a big thing that I need to cut down on, is just trying not to die, you know? Okay, so number 2, warding. I really often feel like I always have too many wards in my inventory, where I'll buy 2 control wards and go multiple backs without even placing one down. And I feel like this comes from me not feeling like I ever have enough time to actually place down wards. And that really just comes down to me not setting up a game plan to create time to actually place down the wards. That's something I think will go hand in hand with not having unnecessary deaths, because wards will give me more information to be able to make the actual proper decisions, which will lead to me dying less. So overall, I think those things are pretty cohesive to working together. And then for 3, it's just going to be reviewing the learning objectives after each game. This is pretty simple, and I don't want to like overload myself on the first week, so as long as I can stay committed to that, that's at least 1 learning objective I can for sure check off. Let's go ahead and get right into this week then. Cool. Okay, so as I was looking into my unnecessary deaths, I started realizing one overarching trend for all of them, and that was greed. And not only was it ending up in my deaths, but I was also losing leads because of it. I was turning what should have been good plays into awful plays. And I think this clip here is just like a really, really good example of this. So me and Olaf just took a really thin all-in. Luckily, my support set was roaming up top, and he was able to clean this up. And we get the wave crash in the tower, and that is perfect. That is such a good lead here. Olaf doesn't have TP. He's not going to be able to catch any of these minions. But, you know, I stick around. I get way too many tower plates than I should have, and the cannon roams up from mid lane, and I'm an easy free kill there. Okay, so you can see here, right as soon as we kill this Olaf, we see Kennen go missing in mid lane. This bot lane scrap is pretty much over, so he's probably not head down here. With the amount of time I have, I can probably take 1 plate. I can probably stop right here and back off and be totally fine. But for some reason, I just want to keep getting more. I want to maybe try to get a 3rd plate. Clearly not going to happen. I get stopped. This is just a great example of something that like was so good. I ended up getting a kill on Olaf, denying him almost 2 waves worth of minions. I was probably totally safe here to get 2 plates and back off. Like, that would have been such a great lead, but for some reason I just kept going and kept pushing. You know, I was really noticing that plays like this is predominantly what was hindering me throughout the week. So yeah, we'll go through a couple more examples of that. Okay, so here I'm getting ganked by the Olaf. I managed to go ahead and flash out here and survive the gank. This GP flashes in, and I actually end up picking up the kill here. And that is seriously so awesome for me to be able to get that. But I end up thinking maybe I can bait this Olaf into staying and trying to tower dive me, and maybe I can just pick up an extra kill off this and catch this whole wave. Like, that would be so cool. Olaf doesn't stay, but now I have to kind of stay and get this cannon at least. GP TP's in on this cannon, and I'm thinking maybe I can go ahead and grab this cannon and get out of here. Super close, pretty thin to go for that. Now I have to back off, and now I'm going to actually end up losing this entire wave. Not only that, but then GP actually comes up to cancel my back again, so I have lost 2 waves off of this. 2 whole waves off of something where I could have just, as soon as this gangplank dies here, if I just take this back right now, I have 6 seconds to my recall. It's going to take Olaf way more time than that to actually get this wave shoved in. I can back and TP into one of these cannon minions and end up actually holding a freeze here, which would have been such an advantage. But I end up like thinking in such short term that these minions were here now. Olaf was here now with low health. I wanted it now. And it was just like really, really greedy. I just wanted to get more off of this one play. And because I did that, it ended up costing me 2 full waves. I didn't die here. This wasn't a death, but... So yeah, let's get into one more example of a greedy play. Okay, so this is a really great example of showing that, you know, even though I'm doing better at this point, I'm completely deathless, you know, I'm playing pretty on point this game, that those greed triggers are all still there. Like, I'm still making the greedy plays, but they're just okay because I'm fed. So in this one, my team just got Baron, I was split pushing, I'm grabbing 2 inhibs. They're just about to reset, so I should have enough time after this inhib to go ahead and just get on out of here. But, you know, of course, like normal, I decide, okay, I can probably all in this Cassiopeia real quick and get out of here. Even though killing her here doesn't at all change the pace of the game, even though I actually am able to get this kill only because I was super fed. And the thing is, in no universe should I ever have been able to actually get the inhib and get the kill on Cassiopeia, because if I would have just actually took a second to pay attention to what the scoreboard was telling me, was right before I went to take that second inhib, their Kayn was spawning in 2 seconds, the Maokai was up in 10 seconds, so realistically I'm not too worried about a 2-8 Kayn and a 1-6 Cassiopeia, but you know, it's a little thin to go ahead and try to all in them in the base, so I had plenty of time to actually just take this inhib and get the fuck out of here, because my team was resetting. It was just great timing wise, and if I actually ended up dying on this Cassiopeia, it would have been so bad. Luckily for me, the Kayn doesn't actually end up responding in time. You know, he doesn't get on the map for some reason. So like, there's no universe where I ever should have been allowed to do this, where this should have ever been actually a successful kill. I could have always successfully got that inhib and get out, but I just wanted more. I was being greedy, as I always am, even when it works out in my favor. You know, I use this as something like proof to myself that, oh, I can make these greedy plays, because see, look, it works out when I'm 7-0, but those are just habits that end up most of the time costing me way more than that. You know, I have one more that's extremely embarrassing, so let's show that one real quick. I think this one here really shows the extent of my greed and how much that can actually end up costing me. So here I just saw the Rengar kill our Evelynn in the topside jungle, and I know that Olaf is on his way back to lane, so realistically the plan here is to get this shoved in, and that's a win. Getting it shoved in while the jungler's topside, where I probably don't have rights to fight this Olaf. He has Thornmail or Bramble Vest, but I decided to take the all in anyways, and I get killed by Rengar. I was going to get killed by Olaf either way. This is definitely a situation where if I got that wave shoved in, that was a win. Like, I need to be able to recognize what these small wins are. That getting that wave shoved in and resetting would have been such a wonderful opportunity. But that's not the worst part of this play. So I'm going to fast forward a second to where I TP back into lane, which is totally fine, TPing in to catch this wave. Luckily I'm able to get the cannon here, so totally worth. But now I know that this Olaf can't really back because I can just shove this wave into his tower. And he's going to miss minions, so of course he's going to want to stick around for this. And because I just ended up losing so much because of that greedy play, now I'm really itching to get that lead back, to kind of even it back up. And he's really low health. He's sticking around. And oh, surprise, surprise, Rengar's still on the top side, and I end up dying again. I feel like this one really shows how much I actually end up losing because of these greedy plays, because I'm not able to actually accept the small wins. And it's just so embarrassing, like looking back on this one in specific and being able to clearly see that this Olaf is baiting me, that I wasn't even taking account if Rengar was back there. I was just seeing red and wanting to even back up that loss that I just had due to greed. And so that's why, as I was watching through all these, I was really noticing that it wasn't just unnecessary deaths for like a whole bunch of reasons. It was pretty much all based around greed. It was all places where I was trying to get more than I was actually allowed to get. If I've already got this wave crashed in, like that's a net positive. That's a good thing. And I was kind of starting to realize that I need to understand the importance of small wins better, to recognize that actually getting that wave shoved in that's a win for me. Okay, so what I learned from my first week of learning objectives. Number one, I learned that I'm a very greedy player, and that's probably my biggest issue. I noticed that greed was affecting so much more than just my deaths. It was causing me to lose so much, and I was able to then see that I need to focus more on the small wins and be happy with small wins. That it's not always about getting as much as humanly possible or stomping as hard as I can. It's about gaining a net positive in general. And then as I was paying attention, I started being able to identify what the triggers were for me to be making these greedy decisions. And it was just simple things such as a low health enemy or just standing gold on the map in form of minions or tower plates, or whatever. As I was able to identify those, I was able to kind of work to come up with a solution, which was this idea of a checklist, where when I see that trigger of a low health enemy, instead of boom, go for the kill right away, I would force myself to instead run through a checklist of, okay, where is the enemy team at? What summoners do they have available? What items do they have? Just something to put a moment of separation between seeing the trigger and actually going for it. As I started actually applying that checklist, I noticed how uncool those plays actually look. It's not very flashy to spot a jungler on a ward and decide, oh, okay, I need to go ahead and back off right now. Like, that's not good looking, but it's things like that end up adding up into either getting a lead or throwing. When it came to like warding, it was very much the same thing. Very quickly kind of came back like muscle memory for me once I was focusing on it again. But when I was looking at it in reviews, it ended up being super uncool. Same deal. See the jungler, back off. Like, there's not much more to say about it. I definitely feel like I was able to notice and address one of my biggest flaws. And then that's something I'm going to be continuously improving at and working towards. And probably applying the same kind of logic into future problems, trying to figure out the triggers for it. That really helped me. I was able to see in reviews that, like, I personally felt like I was being taunted by this low health enemy, and I wanted to get the kill. But yeah, I also learned that 1 week is way too short for actually applying and growing at these learning objectives. And so moving forward, I will try to do 2 weeks next week. Hope that'd be enough time to actually see a significant amount of improvement, because there wasn't much. I was able to at least identify them, but I still need more time to be able to work on them. So I think this was a great start. But yeah, thank you for all you guys who stuck around and watched this. I really appreciate it. Links to my Twitch and Twitter will be down in the description. Feel free to follow me. Appreciate it, guys. Bye.